What is a death doula? Who are death doulas? Mother Earth herself is the great doula of us all, really. I mean, one who is very much with us as we enter into this earthly plane, and also there when we leave and we're birthed out of this life on the earth as we've known it. And along with Earth, the other elemental forces also play a significant role in doulaing at the time of death, at the time of transition. And it can look very basic and physical. It can also look very mystical and feel very mystical. But in the very bare bones of what I'm speaking to when I speak to the elements is about elemental dissolution at time of death. And so, for instance, the earth holds and composts the body, and the water grieves and purifies, and the fluids, they dry up. Fire transforms and releases. So the digestive system, the heart, the pulsing, the circulation, those all dissolve at time of death. The air carries the last breath into the unseen as somebody, rides that final exhalation. And ether, that spaciousness, it really bridges the visible and invisible realms. And each exiting and each labor, releasing this body back to where it came, it's an incredibly unique experience, no matter what someone's spiritual practices are, if there are any, no matter where or from what culture a person is coming from or has lived with in their bones, in their belly, in their blood. But being a death doula really offers ways for people and family to prepare, to reconcile, to ritualize, and to grieve and remember. And these preparations can also look very different for each person, but practically speaking, we might, bring an advanced directive into play, or somebody might really want to be thoughtful about what their life has taught them and the wisdom that they've gleaned from this particular course of life. And so they may want to prepare an ethical will so that, those that the generations to come can look back and see, oh my gosh, look at this ancestor, look what they were here with and how they moved in the world. And oh, look at this wisdom that they left for us to carry with us. Or look at their prayers and oh, these prayers live on in my heart, all these kind of things. And so those are some of the ways in which a death doula might show up. And also, in communication. Communicating, if somebody has a care team, death doulas collaborate and complement other professionals or people that have been placed on a person's care team. There's a deep call to advocacy for the person that is dying, for their choices to be respected, for their choices to be heard, for their well-being to really be considered in a very respectful, conscious way. Death doulas can also be supportive and companion family members that need respite time, or family members that are really having a lot of their own grief, or community members that are really having their own grief with the dying person's process and that would like to have ways that they can share and be held. And a lot of times people might want to put together some kind of legacy work for their spirits to be carried on, and some kind of creative art project. Some people like to experience conscious dying practices so that if they're carrying end-of-life anxiety and they would like to have something to hold in their hearts and allow for more peace to grow, as their bodies might be changing very fast, their environments might be changing very quickly, maybe they lived at home and all of a sudden they're not capable of living at home anymore, or perhaps there's hospice that's come in and they are living from home, but they have this 24-hour hospice care, or they have hospice care every week. Some people won't be able to stay at home, and they might need to go and live somewhere that's unfamiliar to them, and all of a sudden they're in these different surroundings, and they might also be losing their capacity to think for themselves, their autonomy, and they might just want companionship so that they know they're not alone, and again, that their voices are being heard and that preparations are taking place. So these are all very important ways that a doula can show up. And being a doula for those that are dying or companioning someone who's dying, it's non-medical care. I do not provide medical care, but I do work alongside with other professionals in different realms that do have medical backgrounds and helping skills. And I also work with people that are choosing medical aid in dying from the Death with Dignity Act, as well as people that are not qualified for medical aid in dying and that are very clear that they would voluntarily like to stop eating and drinking, which is legal in all 50 states. And if that's what they're called to do, then I can help people with coordinating care and kind of walking people through what that might look like and who might be the team that would be required to support them in that choice. And these are all different examples of what a death doula might look like.